Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Today we are going to talk about cheating in exams. I will give many examples of how students cheat in exams so that you become aware. You can correct it and therefore build integrity in your students. Cheating method number 1. This type of cheating takes place when you give the students back their papers after scoring them. Actually, I was told by a friend after it happened to him in a very big school. Let's call it because it's a national school. So this student prepares himself early in advance. That is, when you're giving out the test papers, he makes sure he picks what? An extra paper. The teacher scores the papers and gives them back. Student plucks out one of the pages and then takes a new question paper, writes the correct answers, does the scoring for himself. So he has also, when you're giving out your papers, that is the question papers, earlier during the examination, he picks an extra paper. Or if you did not staple the papers when you were bringing them in the examination room, he picks an extra 1 page, just 1 page. And mostly it's in between the other question pages. What he does after you score your papers and give them back, he plucks out the paper, takes the paper that he picked when you were giving them out during the examination, writes the correct answers, marks for himself, and brings back, to be very claiming that there's a miscounting when you're giving out error. Test papers to students, because they tend to pick extra pages or extra test papers, and then they use them later to claim that either the scoring was not well done or there was a miscounting. So any miscounting that is brought to you, you have to thoroughly check the student's paper to ensure that whatever one has to check how you normally score your paper or how you're ticking or putting the wrongs, and then ensures that his or her handwriting is closer to yours or it's just like yours. Make sure when a student comes back claiming that there was a counting error, you thoroughly check the paper that you teacher who can be able to detect this. See, for a student to do this, he has already thought about how he's going to cheat from the word go, even before they were given the exam papers. There is also cheating that takes place in the classroom while they are doing the examination. And this kind of cheating happens when you give unstapled question papers. So the student picks more papers than he or she is supposed to pick. In most cases, if you've not stapled the papers, most students will pick extra pages. And if one wants to cheat, he can easily cheat, because he can pick more papers and give the friend and tell the friend, write the answers and then you give them to me, because the teacher will always think that you're writing the correct answers in your own question paper. Yet when you just turn around like this, he's going to get the correct answers that are already written from his friend. Then we have the famous Mwakenya. Mwakenya has different ways of using it in the examination room. Okay? Socks. And then you remove it and put it with the question paper, and then you start copying from there when the teacher is not keen on invigilation. There are different areas where students can keep their Mwakenya. They can always wear a jumper, because most schools allow a jumper or a sweater, and then they put inside in order so that they can easily remove it with their hands and so that they can be able to put it on the car as they are writing the examination. They also carry the Mwakenya in the pocket. That is the shirt pocket or the blouse pocket. So they can easily get it from there and use it to do what? To check anything they've forgotten in the exam. Other students also use the calculator. They can put the Mwakenya inside the calculator or inside the geometrical set. Another method is whereby a student writes the correct answers on the side of the locker, just next to where he or she is sitting. Or sometimes they write on a paper and they use glue to stick it next to their locker. So when they are doing the examination, they'll be going back and you think that they are raising their locker, but they are checking for the answers. Some of them even write the answers in the nearby wall, especially using a pencil. There's also the latest method whereby they get the calculator and they actually cut the inside part of the calculator, and inside there they insert the cell phone. So they'll ensure the cell phone is in silent mode during the examination, and then they can easily Google the answers or check them at the ChatGPT. Or ask for permission to go to the toilet or to go outside briefly, and when they are given, they've already placed their books inside the toilet. So they go check the answers or where they can't remember and then bring back the information in the examination room. But usually these can only work with very bright students. If a student is not well read, if they go to the toilet and come back, they will forget whatever they've read inside that toilet before they come back to the what? To the examination room. Revised well cannot ferry the information from the toilet to the examination room easily and remember it. Remember, most of the questions nowadays, especially in the KCSE, as they're testing, they make sure that you cannot just cheat in that exam by using a textbook one-on-one. There are also those notorious students who cheat inside the examination room when you're trying to pick the papers back after they've done the exam. So when you say, time's up, stand up and bring the papers, as you're standing up, then they're asking their friends, you know, there are many students, you have like 40 students or even more. And you are so engrossed in picking the examination papers and some of the students are behind you, you can't see them. So they'll ask each other and write during that time. So what you normally do to curb that is you just tell them, sit down, I'll come where you are and pick the paper. We also have other students, especially girls, who write their answers in an handkerchief and tissue paper. And then use it in form of Mwakenya inside the what? The examination room. So you'll think they're sneezing. And you see them holding the handkerchief. They're just checking for the what? Some learners also write on their palms. You'll be shocked how many formulas can fit. Especially in schools whereby the classrooms have windows which open next to enclosed grounds. So what students do is they've already made arrangements with a Form 1 student or another Form 2 student, and during the examination they make sure that these students are not in classes. So students who cheat using this method ensure that the other students from the other classes are either on recess when these students are taking the examination. That's why the KCSE is normally done when other students are not. That's why they ensure all the students are away from the school. It's only the Form 4s who are around. Student could make arrangements with another learner from a different class, and then they come next to the window. They give them the question paper. They go attempt the questions and answer them correctly, and then bring back the question paper. Most of the time, you found out that those who use this method, the windows were next to grounds which were not often used. So teachers will not pass there often. And also, during that time, I think there were no cameras around, because now most schools have what? CCTV cameras, where the principal or the deputy principal or the matron in charge can be able to see all the corners of the school. So you see, a student who used this cheating method had to sit next to a what? To a window. Those very wild students. It is a shock. And I remember this one because I saw someone use it when we were in our master's class. I wish Mwende is watching this. A whole grown woman. And remember that time I was very young. Actually, now I'm so old, I cannot even tell you how old, very old I am. That time I was so young, and this grown woman took out her exercise book and put it on her lap just to check the examination while the professor was supervising that specific unit. A master's class, can you imagine? It was very funny. Mpaka sahi, oh mama yu nishangaza. Jesus! Anatoa kitabu chote tu. Alikuwa amekelea tu hapa kwa paja. This was so weird and so funny for us because we started laughing and we were laughing. And you know, if we are laughing, you know, if we are laughing, the professor automatically will come where we are and wonder why we are laughing. Hey, that woman. Hey, that woman. Hey. If you have any other methods that you know that I have not talked about, kindly write them in the comment section so that other teachers can be aware. Next, I'm going to talk about how to curb these methods of cheating. Blessings.